Sphinx International Airport. Let's check out Cairo's newest airport and see what arrivals and departures are like. I'm Gus, and I started the company Egypt Adventures Travel to help people explore Egypt and have a great time. I lead group tours and private tours in person, and I also help people with customized itineraries and connections with local guides and companies. You can head to my website to learn more, egyptadventurestravel.com. Here's some more information about Sphinx International Airport. The airport started operations in 2022, but I didn't notice anybody flying in and out of this airport, at least on trips I was working on, until the summer of 2023. And now I'm noticing more and more people flying in and out of Sphinx if they're coming from Europe or from Abu Dhabi or Dubai, and they're flying on one of the budget low-cost airlines like Wizz Air. This airport is going to help out a lot with people visiting sites like the Grand Egyptian Museum and the Giza Pyramids because it's right next to those areas. And it also is going to potentially facilitate day trips into Cairo from places on the Red Sea. If somebody wants to fly from Sharm el-Sheikh to Cairo, see the pyramids and the Grand Egyptian Museum, and then return back there the same day. I'm going to be interested to see how this airport is utilized more and more in the future. There aren't currently convenient public transit options to get to Sphinx, so I recommend taking an Uber. Here's the Uber that I took from Cairo all the way out to Sphinx International Airport. It cost me around $8 and it took about an hour. My driver was able to easily find the airport using GPS, and we were greeted by this giant sign when we got close to the airport. Entering the airport involved a very quick security check with the driver and then a 2-minute drive from the gate of the airport into the central parking area, which was way different from Cairo International Airport, which is just a much bigger complex. Sphinx is very, very compact and really easy to get right up to the departures and the arrivals area. There's this large mosque and this parking lot, and that's pretty much it. From here, it was a quick 30-second walk from where my Uber dropped me off to the area that I had to go to for departures. I recommend taking Uber, or if you happen to have a private transfer, that will work as well. Here's the outside of Sphinx International Airport. To the left is the arrival area, and to the right is the departures. I'm going to show you first what it was like at the departures section. So there's an area for domestic departures. I'm flying internationally. I'm going to London, so I'm going to walk over to the international departure section and show you what that's like. So far, only a limited number of airlines are traveling in and out of Sphinx International Airport, so you might not find an option to go in or out of this airport during your time in Egypt, but this airport will eventually have many more flights than it currently does. So you might be finding yourself going into or flying out of this airport later on. At the entrance to the International Departure Hall, I had to wait in line for about 5 minutes and then show a security officer my passport and a copy of my flight ticket on my phone. Then I waited in line to go through a security check before checking in for my flight. This screen shows different flights that are flying out of Sphinx International Airport. I'm on the flight that's nonstop to London. So here's another view at that security line that I waited in. It took about 10 minutes. I had to put my baggage through a scanner. I had to walk through a metal detector. And then you see the screens behind the metal detector. That's the area where you can check in for your flight. I went up to the Wizz Air counter and checked into my nonstop flight from Sphinx International Airport to London Luton Airport. And then I had to walk over to the passport control area. They gave me a form to fill out just like they give you at Cairo International Airport. You fill out this form with your personal information, and then you show this form and your passport to the border security agent. They check over your visa and make sure that you did not overstay your visa time in Egypt. They stamp your passport and visa with the date that you left Egypt, and that's all you need to do. So this is that line where I'm going through and showing that visa and showing that form to the border security agent. Then I'm heading up to my gate to get settled and to get ready for my flight. Just like at Cairo International Airport, went to the check-in process after a security check, did the customs and the passport control, and now I'm heading over to the gate area, and hopefully there might be some restaurants or a place to grab a bite to eat or a cup of coffee. Like all the airports in Egypt, there was clear signage and it was really easy to know where to go. Before the gate area, there was one more security check, a baggage screening, and a metal detector. So here's the line for that. I waited in line for about 10 minutes. And then after that, I was into the airside area with different restaurants and coffee shops and a duty-free section that was not currently up and running. You'll notice this is the duty-free right here. It's completely empty and it's not open at the moment. And I noticed the same thing upon arrivals. So if you're arriving to Egypt at this airport, you're not going to be able to pick up alcohol or duty-free at the moment. This might be changing soon, so hopefully that will be changing. If you notice that duty-free is open and you fly into Sphinx International Airport, please leave a comment and let me know. Sphinx Airport's the last place I thought I would find a lounge, but there is a lounge here, Pearl Lounge, that takes priority pass. So I came into the lounge and I'm gonna get a free bite to eat and some coffee before heading over to my gate. Just like at Cairo International Airport, there's this lounge, the Pearl Lounge, that allows access to priority pass holders along with some other folks. And they had a range of different buffet, hot and cold food options, drinks, snacks. I was really surprised, and actually I was kind of hungry, so it was really nice to be able to stop at this lounge and get a quick coffee and get some food before heading on my flight. So this shows you what the Pearl Lounge is like inside the departure area. Here's my hall. They had mahshi, they had kofta, they had lots of Egyptian food, which was really great, and I was surprised. After I finished up at the lounge, I walked over to my gate area. This shows you what the gate area is like. And if you don't have lounge access, this area where the gates are has several different restaurants and coffee shops and places to buy snacks, so you'll be able to get something before your flight. Here's the gate. We're lining up to do the final security check before getting onto the flight. Again, some more lines, some more metal detectors, and some more security personnel. And then it was time to board the flight, flying nonstop from Sphinx International Airport over to London Luton Airport. If you'd like to see a video showing that Wizz Air flight and talking about my experience flying nonstop from London to Cairo, drop a comment and let me know. After walking across the jet bridge, I boarded my flight to London, and that was that. So now let's talk about what it was like arriving at Sphinx International Airport. I flew that same route, but in reverse, from London Luton Airport over to Sphinx, and while on the plane, I got this form to fill out. Same form like I filled out on departure, but just the opposite for arrivals. So I filled it out with all of my information and got my passport ready. There was a jet bridge that connected our airplane directly to the airport, so I walked across that and entered the arrival area. I just followed the flow of traffic and the flow of people to get over to the passport control, border security, and immigration and customs. So this is showing what that's like. I'm above that whole departure area right now. So you see that same departure area where I left from earlier. Here's that duty-free shop that at the moment is currently empty, but hopefully will be full at some point with alcohol and with other duty-free items for people to purchase. After a few minutes walk, I got to my first security area. So down this escalator is the area where they're checking passports and checking information for arrivals. Everything had clear signage and was easy to know where to go. There were these ATM machines available and the bank counters to buy the visa upon arrival for $25 cash, just like at Cairo International Airport. And then after buying that $25 sticker to go into my passport, I had to wait in this line to get the sticker put into my passport, stamped by a border security person with my date of entry into Egypt, and then I was able to exit through to the baggage claim area. After baggage claim, there was some information about going to the Hyatt Regency Cairo West, which is a fairly new hotel that's out by the Giza Plateau. There was also an area where you could buy a local SIM card, and then that was that. So that's that Etisalat, that area where you can buy a local SIM card. And then this is the outside of the terminal after exiting from the airport. So here's Sphinx International Airport. Here's the exit to the terminal, and then here's the parking area where I waited to get my Uber into the city center. The Uber from Sphinx International Airport to the city center of Cairo cost about $6, and like a lot of times on Uber, I had to cancel my first driver because they didn't want to come to the airport, and then I had to get another driver. So you just have to sometimes play around with Uber a little bit in Egypt. You might have to cancel a ride and then do a second ride just to get a driver who's actually going to come and pick you up. Paying with cash is often a way to encourage or incentivize drivers to come pick you up. And if you don't have cash as an option on the app, you can reset the app and then you can select cash as a payment option. And that's it. I got out of the airport. I went through customs. I went through immigration. I purchased my visa at the airport in person, extremely easy and fast. I got an Uber, which I had to cancel the first one, but I'm in my second one now, heading to my accommodation in Cairo. Whole process took about 45 minutes from start to finish. Before wrapping up, let's talk about how to find flights that go in and out of Sphinx International Airport. So I'm using Google Flights, which is a great tool to search for flight options, and I'm putting in SPX for Sphinx International Airport, and I'm going to say going anywhere. That's going to show me all of the different flight options that are available. I'm just going to pick September 1st as a date, just as an example, but you can pick any date that would work for your trip. And then Google Flights is going to show all of the different flight options from Sphinx International Airport. Right now, these flight options, some of them are nonstop, other ones have connections, like this flight to Santorini has 2 stops. So I'm going to go back up to the top of the Google Flights tool, and I'm going to select stops, and I'm going to do just nonstop flights, because I want to just do a nonstop flight. I don't want to worry about connections. So now this will show the different options, like Rome or Dubai. I can change my date to September 2nd, and then London pops up. So this is a great way to find different flight options that Sphinx Airport flies to. And then if you want to do the reverse, you can check out the reverse by saying that you want to fly, let's say, from London into Sphinx International Airport, and to get those specific dates and prices that you want. And then Google Flights, it's not a flight booking tool, it's just a search engine. So you can pick the flight option that you want, like this Wizz Air flight, only $104 and nonstop. I always book directly with the airline, so Google Flights will connect you to the Wizz Air website or the airline website directly, where you can then look at your different flight options and make a booking. Again, if you want to see a video on that Wizz Air flight, drop a comment and let me know. Thanks for checking out this video on Sphinx International Airport. I hope it helped you if you're flying in and out of this airport on your Egypt adventure.